Welcome to How to Look Great on Zoom. This is an ArcVida presentation, and I'm going to share just quickly about who ArcVida is. Um, Many or most of you who are watching may already know this, but ArcVida is, there we go. ArcVida helps US professionals make their optimal career move, and we're all over the country, even today. People on this presentation are all over the country, and we help each other and also tools, resources, and support. And we do this with group experience, one-to-one coaching and mentoring, lots of accountability. Those of you who are mid-flight will nod in recognition, and also support and encouragement. And that's where this presentation falls under, is support and encouragement. So that's that. I'm going to go ahead and stop this share and tell you, oh, I'm the CEO and founder, for those of you who don't know or people who may be watching, co-founder of ArcVida. Laura Grier, who is going to be our main presenter today, is a internationally known photographer. She's been featured in over 25 publications nationwide and probably worldwide, honestly. She is a tastemaker and a blogger and photographer for Novica in association with National Geographic. Her international photographs are some of my favorite personally. She's also, side note, done all of ArcVida's corporate photography to date. Thank you.
Wow.
Um, I will say I have a criticism, which is people think our corporate photography is stock photos because they're so good. um, she also, I've known Laura now, I think about 7 years. And in all of that time, she's constantly telling me about the philanthropic projects she's supporting, whether that's Dress for Success or girls' schools in Senegal, and just traveling everywhere she travels, she tries to make a positive impact. And she, as a professional, is the epitome of a rising tide lifts all boats. Everyone around Laura is lifted up in their work and inspired by beauty, of course, but also to be a better professional. In the last couple of years, she's been on an amazing journey, as you can see behind her. Laura has become a founder of a company called Andiana Hats. And this is a social entrepreneurship, social enterprise that employs weavers in a Peruvian village as well as Peruvian hat makers to create beautiful goods. And this year she's adding a marketplace component to that. So, all of which to say, she teaches, mentors, lectures, takes photos, and has tons and tons and tons to teach all of us. And that's all the introduction I'm going to give. But Laura, if I missed anything at all, please jump in.
Well, thank you. And thank you for that introduction. I'm normally wearing a hat myself, so I just wanted to start the call without a hat, but it's actually one of my favorite Zoom things too, because most of us, during the pandemic haven't had time to get our hair done, our roots done. This has been my covering my roots for many months hat. And, but basically, thank you so much. And yes, all the hats behind me. And by the way, this is only like a small portion of the hats we have are all made by these Quechua artisans in Peru. And all the bands are woven in their Quechua language, which is a woven language. And we're working to empower women and artisans around the world through their vanishing crafts. So yeah, that's like my photography and my mentoring, my teaching kind of blended together to create Andiana hats. So thanks for that. Yeah, it's funny because the rules for what, when Alyssa asked me to talk today, the rules are really similar to photography in general about looking good on Zoom, or even like when people ask me about their dating profiles and stuff like that, taking pictures for them, the rules sort of apply across the board. It's all about good lighting. It's about good clothing. It's about good angles. And it's no different for Zoom as well. And so now, I don't know if you guys remember like the Jetsons cartoons back in the day, but they used to have all the video calls, and they used to have they would put a face mask in front of them of themselves looking good with makeup while they were talking on their video calls in the morning. And I was like, man, they were so ahead of their time, because like I can't tell you how many times I've needed a face mask like that. But yeah, so I'm excited to share some knowledge, and there's some fun little tips. So yeah,
Great.
ask away.
Thank you. Well, I'm sure all year that you've been watching so many of us on Zoom looking terrible. So I think before we actually get to actually how to show up on Zoom, we need to talk about preparation. So when you think about preparation tips, like what's the mindset we need to put ourselves in? And then also, um, just different like time management strategies or anything like that. And then from there, I think we'll go probably pretty naturally into what we should wear. So feel free
Yes.
also the rest of anyone who's watching, drop your questions in the chat and we'll either answer them now or later, kind of depending on the flow.
Yeah, I mean, most of us have a chaotic home life right now, and like things aren't that organized. I find that, and this goes with the rule within any photo shoot or anything, is like if you have time to prepare and be calm, you're going to go into it calm. So I have like around me right now, if I could describe, I have my water on this side, my coffee on this side. I've got notes here. I've got face powder in case I need it. I even have like a little face roller. Sometimes when I'm doing work, I use a little they can help you not be so puffy. And it's just like a fun face massage, like to have throughout the day. Like I do that once in a while. I've got like, in case I need light, I've got a little light next to me, my cell phone on, off on the ringer off. And just anything I need, power cords, things are already set. So I'm trying to make it where like I've used the restroom, I'm caffeinated, I have water. Like I'm trying to make it where there's no reason why I need to get up and leave the screen, which I think is the biggest thing where people are like, oh crap, I forgot this or this. And then you're like running around and it just comes off a bit chaotic and not professional. So I think just having like really think about all the things you would like possibly need around you before you start your call or your meeting.
Yeah, I love that tip, and it's so true. I think I was on the ongoing support cohort the other day, and I was a minute late, and I just showed up with my energy. I was so flustered, and I was like, "Oh!" So I love that tip of having everything around you and just being ready to drop into a really calm place. So from there, should we talk? Do you want to talk first about setup, or do you want to talk about what we should wear? What do you think is important next?
Let's talk about setup for a second and just lighting. So, I mean, this is not a fake backdrop. These are my hats, but like um, I like having my hat backdrop. I'm in front of a big window right now, so it's very like even lighting on me. But since a lot of my business calls are involving the hats, it's kind of like a nice environmental context clue to have the hats behind me. Um, but in general, like obviously, I know people put the fake Zoom backdrops and all of that, but not a fan of those just because I think it's weird when like your head and your hand starts disappearing into some like fourth dimension somewhere, and I think that it's nice just to have a clean background. And for those people that this isn't a clean background, but for, just something that makes sense for you, not just like a bunch of stacked clothes behind you or something. Um, One of the things that I saw, like a friend of mine who's a photographer, he and his wife are in one small room, backs facing each other on their computers, and they have to time out when they're doing their business calls, and it's extremely chaotic. And the system he showed me was actually this. It's literally just a piece of a poster board on. I put it on like a stand, and literally you can get any color you want. I'll just show you. You can just pull it behind you, when you're sitting, and just actually separate the room. So you just have like this poster board that like all the way comes, I'm not going to pull it all the way over, but basically separates you from the background. And can just be like a clean thing. It's just like a 30 by 40 piece of poster board, just regular size. And then you can adjust it so it fits your screen and everything, and just adjust your computer, and all of a sudden you just have like a plain backdrop behind you. And like this is just simple to be able to like separate yourself. There might be someone behind you, there might be crazy kids and chaos, and this is like a $4 piece of poster board. You can buy it in any color, white, black colors, whatever, at like Staples or something. And I just put it on like a stand and just slide it over if I need it. But in general, I like to have my hat, so I'll just kind of take that away.
Yeah, I love that tip. And Laura, later will you send me the link to that product and then we'll just include it in the notes for people.
Yeah.
And if you bought this specialty, I would buy that off you. I think that's brilliant. So
Yeah.
y'all know I think that these are my books. They are not, this is not a backdrop, but what you don't see is the rest of my house over behind on the other side, which I'm a working mom. I got some laundry sitting over here waiting to be folded. So
Well,
make sure that
yeah.
I think that's a really great way to figure out your space if you're not in an ideal space to have this backdrop. What
Well, it's
color?
more about the lighting, not to interrupt you, but like you want to face a window or have like a big soft, whether it's a lamp that's diffused or something facing you straight on. So this could allow you to go up to a window in your house that might have a terrible background and then just put this behind you and you have like an instant studio setup, you know, and you could just be literally sitting on with your laptop in front of a window with this.
So
So
before we switch to that, I have another question, and y'all should drop your questions in the chat too. It doesn't have to be all my questions. What about how should we think about backdrop versus skin tone? So we all, there's a rainbow of skin tone. Where should we sit? Like if we have darker skin, what color should the backdrop be? If we, if you're lighter, like how should we think about the backdrop? Like if we're using a poster board versus hats or
I think if you want to have something, and a lot of people, at least photographers, will do like a greenish tone backdrop, just kind of almost like a green screen, because they like to pop in different backgrounds on Zoom. So if you were wanting to like switch your background on Zoom a lot and not have that weird faded away thing, getting a poster board like that, that's a green, like green screen, will make it a lot cleaner. You won't have that fourth dimension kind of like popping in and out that happens. Um, if you, in general, just like a gray or a white is nicer. It reflects more light. Black just diffuses light. So if you have like a lot of light, black might be nice. Like if it's too bright in your room or something. But in general, like black and white are the biggest contrasting against you. And it just depends on also your look. Like maybe, but white, literally, if you have white, will be reflecting light around you, and it'll be almost like a reflector.
so okay, so that's great. So I
You can
took
also buy poster board that's white on one side and black on the other and decide. So
options. So I kind of took that away. Like there's a secondary tip you hid there. So the white is probably the best option for most of us because it will give us the light. But if we are for some reason wanting another background, maybe a greenish tone helps eliminate that fourth dimension.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's really just a green screen. I mean, the problem with the Zoom backgrounds is that it's hard to delineate your body from what's happening in the background, which is why it's guessing, but it can't do it very well. So when you take that guessing away and you put like a green screen behind you, it's very clear like what's green and what's not, and it can like make the background a lot easier to cut
Awesome.
out.
Awesome. And then I think you were kind of naturally going into lighting next. Does that feel like the next flow of
I mean,
preparation
it's
for you?
literally all of it's about lighting, to be honest, but but yes, I mean, for sure. I mean, backdrops are really easy like this, but it's about finding the place in your house. Hopefully everyone has windows. If not, I'll show you other options. But like right now, like I have a great, if I just show you, my windows are like these big windows to the beach. So, and no matter where I'm at, if I'm facing those at all, it's kind of like this. You can see it in my eyeballs. Like you can see the big white light. It's almost like a studio light, but those same awesome windows don't look so awesome. You're going to see all the stuff behind me. If I come at it sideways, um, if I come at it sideways, I'm going to look like really muddy, and probably every single wrinkle I have will show up. And also a lot of people make the mistake of doing backlighting when you're like this, you know, and then all of a sudden you just kind of look faded. Your exposure is going to go down because your camera is like doesn't really know if you're what to expose to, so you're going to end up looking dark and backlit, and there's no catch light in your eyeball. So it's much better to be facing a window straight on if possible, and you'll get the best lighting on your face. And it's the same light. I'm like, I literally just pivoted in my same place that I'm sitting. And even my screen dimmed accordingly to like when you backlight, even your computer screen itself will dim because it's seeing all this light come in. And so sometimes it's even hard just to see your own presentation. How bright your screen is also lights your face, you know? So having a brighter screen, like turning your screen light up can help too.
Oh,
But
great
in
tip.
general, just find a window or even like a doorway, like sit in the doorway with the door open if you don't have any windows, just to get light on you like that.
Great. And you said you had another option if we don't have windows. What's our
Yeah, the other option here, I'll drop the chat in the, hold
Oh,
on.
you can just send it later. We'll put it out in the show notes.
Okay, cool. There's a product that I bought for, I think it was $40 on Amazon. This little guy. It's a suction cup that can suction to the back of um, A, to a window, but B, the back of your laptop. So I could literally right now put this on my laptop and shine a light on me. This thing swivels. And the cool thing about this light, it's all battery powered. You can see how it's orange right now. I can change the temperature of the light. So that's more of a blue, that's more of an orange. I don't know if you can see the difference of the quality of light. So on my face, I want to give myself, I can make it way bright or I can make it less bright. And if I want to make it really like, oh, I want to give myself a tan, I just put it on like that really warm light, or this is more of the daylight balanced light. So it just depends on what setting you're at. But this thing is the coolest little thing. And especially like I had to do Zoom calls with Australia the other day. Of course, it's like in the middle of the night for me, and I don't have, you know, my lamp light. If you have a nice lamp, cool, but it's just everything's so dark behind you. This thing is great, just like lights you.
Oh my
Um,
gosh, I love that thing. We're
yeah,
definitely,
this thing is awesome. It's like a game changer, and it's so
yeah.
tiny. And here I have the link on Amazon for it, so I'll just drop it in the chat right
Okay, thank
now.
you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's really great.
So this
And
thing was really awesome, and I just dropped it in the chat. Oops, I think I just sent it to you, Jody, privately. Everyone, hold on, let me try this again. All right, there we go.
thanks.
Um, so yeah, so that's been an awesome lighting tool as well. And like that can even help during the day, just filling in, like if you're in a dark room or you just want to like I wanted to give myself a little more of a tan or something, you could do that too. But it's just nice to have, like, lighting is really important on a call.
Yeah, so important. And I talk to a lot of people. What happens in a one-to-one meeting is if we can't see each other, we can't read facial expressions. And so, particularly if you're interviewing and y'all are going to roll your eyes if you've been listening to me for any length of time, you need to show excitement. And if people can't see you, they will not see your excitement. You need to show interest. You need to have your facial expressions lit up. What I find over and over is that when people are well lit, then I can think about how they're responding. And if they're not well lit, I find myself straining. Like I'm nearsighted, clearly, like trying to see, like, what am I missing? And then I'm like, oh, wait, it's their lighting. So love that tip. We had a couple questions come in
Yep.
about where to position the camera. Is that the next sort of natural, like, how to stack the camera and where to put it? Or what do you think is the next
Oh,
natural?
oh, right now, oh, that's a good question. Right now, I actually have my laptop on a stack of books. You, or you can have a lower chair. It's just like us when we all take selfies and we put it up higher because we look better from a high angle. It's sort of the same concept with your camera. If I take these books away, I'll just show you. I like the camera to be eye level. Like here, this is my regular desk. You're kind of like looking at my chin and like up my nose at this angle. And I don't know, it's just not a cute angle. A lot of people sit really high and you're just kind of looking down into your camera. So in general, even just in photography, it's just not like nobody wants to be shot at that angle. So I always just on my desk just put like a stack of my photography coffee table books, just so I can like have a little height on my laptop and then be able to aim the camera like down or straight on to me a little bit, you know?
So
Um,
help us with that since most of us didn't go to photography school. When you say eye level, is that the camera is right at our eye level, or is it like I'm looking up into the camera?
like if I look at my camera looking at you, I'm kind of looking up. So eye level would be like the screen itself is eye level. Like I don't have to tilt my face up or down to look at the screen. I'm just looking
Okay,
straight
so
at the
a little
screen.
bit higher is
Yeah,
better.
so the camera, yeah, exactly. So the camera of the laptop's probably like up here,
All right.
like
I don't know
so
about
looking
y'all, but
out slightly. Like I don't want it to be like this, you know, but I just
okay,
want it to be straight.
got it. Okay, and then Jody's question here was a great one. How close to the camera should we be, i.e., what's the ratio of face to background?
Ooh. I think personally, and this is just same thing with like cropping a person on in photography, you want to at least see shoulders. It's kind of like really weird and awkward, and it's just like a face. And also, if you're like not wearing a collared shirt or something, you can look like you're naked. Like if you're wearing something like spaghetti straps or something, and then you're that close, all of a sudden you don't see clothing, and it's like a little disconcerting. So right now, I usually don't wear sleeveless things, but if I do, I make sure it has like a collar or something where it doesn't look, if my hair is here, it doesn't look like I'm not wearing anything, you know? So that's another tip too, is just to, I would be far enough away to show maybe at least the top of the shoulders, like here. But it also depends on how much room you have. Like some of us just don't have the space, and like, you know, we want to put like that cardboard behind you, whatever. So it's okay to be close, but I would just say at least try to have this in the frame.
Great. Thank you. And then any other tips about the camera angle or how high our chair should be, anything like that, or did we kind of cover that?
Well, I mean, right now I have my chair low just because I want the laptop to be, you know, here. But I mean, I could put my chair high, but I just, again, you don't want to have like a weird. I'm also wearing hats a lot, so I would rather it be not shooting down on me so you can't see my eyes and stuff. So I'm trying to be like looking like straight on eye level, you know, at my screen.
Yeah,
But
and
yeah, it depends
that's
on how
very
much of your outfit you want to show too, I
yeah.
guess.
That's a very Laura problem, the wearing hats a lot. I do love that you wear hats since you're a hat entrepreneur. Um, and most of us are probably not going to be wearing hats.
But I know, but even if I'm not wearing a hat, you just want to like not be looking down at your screen, big forehead. Like it's, you know, it's any angle. It's like anything that's closer to the camera is just going to look bigger, right? So
Yeah,
it's like nobody wants to be like that either. So you just want to be as even and straight on. Like we call it a prime lens. Like our 50 millimeter prime lens that we shoot with in photography is zero distortion. It's like literally what we're seeing right now is like exactly it. And anytime you get closer, like wide angle telephoto, like there, you change the angle of the tilt shift, we'd call it, of your laptop, you're literally distorting yourself and the background. So it's like you want to be like as not distorted as possible.
awesome. Awesome. And you should wear your hat, by the way, if you want to. I wasn't
Well,
trying to
no,
get
I was
you to
actually
take
going to
your
go
hat
into the
off.
whole powder thing. So this goes for men and women too, by the way. Like you can get translucent powder that doesn't leave a color on you. I'm already see how shiny I am, so I can just kind of get rid of the shine on my nose and right here. Like I don't know. I get really annoyed in the morning when where you're like, oh God, someone's like super shiny. So sometimes I'll just do that and get rid of shine. I keep that nearby.
Awesome. I love that because it's the Photoshop effect. It's the blur effect. We're getting it. Um,
You know what's also another thing that's really bad? Like right now, I'm gonna touch, like it's like a big no-no, but I'm just gonna like literally touch my camera with my dirty finger to show you, like when you have a dirty screen, how that can change. So this is like my kind of a dirty lens, and if you really, really like want to, there, see how it looks kind of fuzzy and faded. It's not as good. So this is a dirty lens, and then if I wipe it, do you see that it's like a little clearer and brighter? A lot of times people just don't clean their screens, and like it can actually cause like a blurry, hazy, like light can flare. It's not, you know, like literally just wiping your camera off every once in a while is really helpful. It actually makes your camera expose you better.
I love that tip. Um, so quick question about mirror image, and then I think let's switch into like what we should wear. And I feel like makeup is kind of a good part of this conversation. And again, you know, our at ArcVida, we're really thinking about professional conversations. Although, gosh knows if you're having any other kind of conversation, you want to look good too. But before we do that, Rebecca has a question about: is there a reason you would or would not use the mirror image feature of Zoom?
Um, No, I don't know. I don't think it just really depends on like what you're comfortable like seeing and what you want other people. I mean, I think it's just a personal preference. I don't think there's like one's better than the other. Um, I don't know. I don't really use it, but I think it just depends on if you want to be able to like look at yourself and engage, you know, how you're looking and stuff. But I don't
I
know.
would
Like
say,
what
I would
I'd love
say
to throw that back at you guys. Like what do you feel about that?
I personally advise people to turn off the self view. in a meeting, if you're sitting across the table having a conversation with somebody, you don't see yourself, right? So this
Yeah.
isn't a very human way to interact versus if I turn off the self view and I almost always will highlight the speaker also, then
Yeah.
that's a way for me to engage as I would more normally. Certainly you want to know what you look like. Or you
Yeah,
just,
I mean, I don't make myself big. I like it to be where obviously the speaker whoever's talking is the bigger one. I do like having like myself little though, because it reminds you that you're on camera. You know, sometimes you'll be like, oh gosh, I should probably like sit up a little bit more or like whatever, you know. So it's almost like kind of checks you a little bit because you get too comfortable sometimes on Zoom, or you know, maybe there's something going on in the background, or maybe like I don't know. For me, I like to have that, to be able to know what they're seeing as well, and also kind of check myself. But like I don't want, yeah, you don't want to be like just staring at yourself while you're talking.
yeah, for sure. Okay, so Jody, I'm not sure I understand your question. Jody, are you asking, and feel free to come off mute if you want to here, how do you shut it off? Are you saying how do you turn off mirror image or how do you
Yeah,
turn off? I don't know.
I I didn't even know that you could.
Rebecca, I'm putting you on the task of how to turn off mirror image since that was your question. Do you mind dropping that in the chat for Jody? Y'all
Yeah,
should
you could change your
Rebecca,
presentation view.
yeah, maybe. And y'all should
Just
know
your view
Rebecca.
at the top, you can change the presentation view and like around, so you're not like just seeing yourself.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I know how to do that. I just thought there was a way to eliminate me
yourself.
altogether.
I mean, I all I know is about turning off the camera of I don't know about how
Right.
you eliminate yourself though without
Well,
turning off
well,
the camera.
I'll ask if Rebecca if you're comfortable sharing how to do that. If you see a quick link to share, if not, I don't want to put you too much on the spot. Rebecca's kind of a tech expert for us on this call. I could see she's thinking about how we should do it. So that being said, you're not on the spot, Rebecca. If you don't find it, we'll put it in the show notes for you, Jody.
It's
Okay.
in the video part where it says stop video, video on or off, and then video settings.
Ah, okay, great.
So I just switched. I don't know if you saw like my stuff switch.
Oh, great. Okay, so that's in the bottom, usually of the Zoom app. It's in the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
thank you, Sarah.
yeah.
Awesome. All right. So, what should we wear? And if you could talk separately about makeup, I think that's worthwhile.
Yeah.
And then again, also, we're thinking about skin tones. So, there's a range of skin tones, and we're thinking about showing up with energy and interest and excitement and not being distracting. So, tell us what to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's really the things that are most distracting. I would say, like I said, is shininess. Like you don't need to have a full face of makeup, like I don't right now, but I do have powder on. I have like this translucent powder, which, you know, for those of you that don't want to, you know, if you're worried about skin tone, that's just making you not shiny. It's not adding a color or changing the color of your skin. I think it's really distracting when someone's overly made up and you can like see that makeup line, you know, because I was really bad about that before. So I was like, I always try to just be minimal with that. But I say eye makeup is actually really, for me, is important. I feel like it makes a difference in me looking like I'm awake in the morning and not. So I would say for me, I just do like eyeliner, mascara, powder at the very, like just basic if I have to like jump on a meeting or something. I mean, I really don't take the time to do my hair. It's pretty bad. Like it just in general in life. So like I said, I'm a hat person. So I usually just like finish it off with a hat. Maybe I'll like do something. And then all of a sudden I look like I'm more put together than, you know, being in bed 20 minutes earlier. So, um, but yeah, I just think the most important thing is just having your eyes be sort of awake. Your eyes are sort of the focus in photography and in a conversation. People are looking at your eyes, which is also why it's important to have good lighting because it gives you that kind of catch light in your eye. So I just think, you know, making sure your eyes pop is probably helps you look awake and be engaging.
Yeah, so along those lines, for those of us that wear glasses, and I don't know if y'all that are wearing glasses feel this way, but I'm a little bit self-conscious about my glasses because of the lighting reflecting. If you look carefully, you could see my ring light reflecting off my lenses. So should we, in an important conversation, should we be taking our glasses off? Like, what should we be doing here?
Wait, Jody, what's your lighting right now? I'm curious because she's wearing glasses right now, and you just changed your lighting because you weren't lit like that earlier.
I did. I wanted to experiment with a new thing. So I'm in front of a very large sunny window now.
See, and it
Yeah.
already looks better. Look at your skin. You look like, bam, looks good.
It looks good, except I have a bed with laundry on it behind me. So I've got to figure out that part.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes even just hanging a sheet or something would work too. Or like I said, if there's a way to put, I don't know, are you on a couch or is that a bed? What is?
That's a bed and I'm on the floor.
Oh, okay. That's amazing. So literally you could just probably put like a big piece of poster board behind you, like against the bed, and like no one
Right.
would even know.
Yeah, it's a
That's
great
amazing.
idea.
God, there should be a photo series of like people like, and we'll call it like zoomed out, and literally like zoom out and show what their actual Zoom setups look like. God, I really need to do that. Just do a
Good.
whole
That sounds
series.
awesome. That would go
I love that. I feel that way about fashion shoots too, because you see these like high fashion models and you really look the back of them, they're all like pinned up and like crazy things and people are holding stuff all around them. It's kind of funny. Okay, so, well, her glasses are not glaring really. What's your lighting situation, Alyssa?
I'm next to a window on my left. I have a lamp on my right, and I have my screen light facing me, and then I have a ring light above my
Oh my
lap.
gosh. Okay, so you have a lot of light happening, which is probably why you're getting, I can see the ring light in your glasses. So, you know, your glasses are just going to reflect all your lighting setup. So she doesn't really have glare because she is sitting next to a big window, which is acting like a giant softbox. So that's going to just evenly light everything. So if I were wearing glasses right now, they would probably not be glaring because I have a big window light that's like, you know, it's like spreading out the light. If you're next to a bunch of small light sources, like a lamp and a this and that, those are going to just bam, like reflect because it's like right next to you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if they were further away from you, it probably wouldn't reflect as much.
Okay, so the tip there is work toward one large light source if
Yeah.
you can versus a lot of small light sources. Is that the tip?
Yeah, and even with like the little light thing that I showed you, like you don't have to have, like it's easy to have it on the back of your laptop, but you could have it like on a window near you shining from far away where it spreads out the light. You know, I would just play around with it, but it is true. Like when you're right up on a lamp, like that lamp is going to like reflect the dot on your glasses.
Great.
Oh, look at her. Look, she's like, I like how she's experimenting right
I love it.
now.
Well, don't we all want to experiment
I
right
know.
now? I definitely do. It's taking all my willpower not to experiment. So talk to us about what we should wear, and then anything else maybe maybe anything you want to talk about with transitions, like between a presentation and screen, if you have any advice for us on that.
Yeah. So wearing clothing to wear, I always say, and this is what I say for portraits too, white, always it won't, if it's hard, if you have a white backdrop too, is very distracting, but white makes your eye always goes to something lighter. So people will be staring at your clothing and like rather your face if you're wearing like a very light white color. And so it's better to go with earth tones, colors obviously that bring out your eyes. I have brown eyes, so I don't have that luxury of the people that have like the green blue eyes that change to whatever they're wearing. Like whatever, if you have those eyes, wear whatever makes your eyes look amazing. But earth tones like greens and blues, grays, browns, like earthy tones are always good. Black is great, but sometimes it can make everything really dark if you have dark hair and stuff like that too. So it's nice to just go with the earth tones, and staying away from like any weird, crazy patterns, stripes, big polka dots, just anything that's crazy, unless it's like purposeful, like you're a fashion designer and you're wearing something outlandish or whatever, like cool. But in general, when I do headshots or portraits for people, I say solid colors, earth tones, stay away from white. There's like, and like no spaghetti straps so you don't look, or strapless so you don't look naked.
That's the third time she said that, y'all. I hope you're paying
I'm
attention.
telling you, all of us forget, like I'm very guilty of wearing pajama pants and like a professional top. Like, and I know so many people have gotten in trouble with that because they like don't think their lens is that wide. They don't think people are looking and seeing them. So it's just like, but you know what? Actually, I'm going to give you a tip that my boyfriend gave me, which I thought was really cool. So he's a professor and he's had to change it to remotely during the pandemic. And he would get fully dressed up in a suit and an outfit, everything to do his like Zoom class. And I just thought that was so cute since we had been in like pajamas all day. I'm like, oh, you're going to get dressed up for work, you know, like in the living room. And he's like, no, it makes me feel good to be dressed up. It makes me feel professional. It makes me feel like a professor. Like and he like irons it and does the whole thing. And I thought that was actually a really cool thing because it's like, it's about the way you feel. And so when I'm sitting in pajamas, I'm not feeling like a powerhouse founder of a company. And I know it, like, I think that idea of going into an office was also, without us realizing, gave us that feeling of like, we're in an office, this is so professional, like what we're doing. And so I think that's the one thing that Zoom's kind of like taken away from all of us, is that sort of that extra boost of confidence. And so I think, whatever you can do to make yourself feel comfortable and good, do it. So that means like get fully dressed up for your Zoom call, then do it.
I love it. And it's so true. And y'all, we have a couple blog posts on interview tips that you can find on our Do This on our blog. And one of our tips is wear pants. And another tip is kind of a joke, but there is a lot of discussion there about the hero mindset, that when you're coming into an interview, that you're the hero, you're there to solve someone's problem. So right on with that. Anything else you want to talk about for Zooms, either transitions between presentation or sound, or anything else that you see people doing wrong a lot?
Yeah, and I've been guilty of this too. So I always have a million tabs open on my computer, and then if they ask me to share my screen or do a presentation or something, like I can't even tell you how many times I've had like an embarrassing photo up, or maybe I was like editing a boudoir shoot or something like that, and all of a sudden I'm like switching over, like, okay, cool, not that one. So it's I think practicing your transitions, or making sure everything's closed on your desktop, nothing you want people to see, and like having your presentation open in the background and ready to share, and just making sure like that's streamlined as well. I also was guilty of having pop-ups show up on my screen of messages when I was sharing a screen, and that's embarrassing. So like, make sure those kinds of things are silenced if you're doing a screen share. Yeah, and I'm definitely guilty of like, it's funny because like I do a lot of Zoom calls talking, but I don't do formal presentations as much. So I'm guilty of not being streamlined in the past as well. But yeah, you won't make that mistake a second time when you have an embarrassing one.
Oh, okay, so I think that we're just about ready to drop into questions and answers, but I also want to give you a chance to workshop whoever is brave or wants more help on their specific setup. So, while please, let's see, how should we do this? Just drop, since there's not very much of us, just drop in the chat if you'd like Laura to workshop you, and then your setup. And then while we do that, Isabel has a great question about, can you talk a little bit about eyeline? I'm always looking at people's faces on the screen rather than into the camera lens. So
Yeah,
how do you
I
think about
think
it?
right now, what helps is if you put your screen in a view where the person is as centered and high up in the screen as possible. Like when you have them over to the side, you're looking at them all the time. Um, if you want to be like looking directly, like it's hard because you want to look at the camera, but you want to like look at that person's face. So you're never gonna really be looking directly at the camera, but it helps if you sometimes get like, I'll get like a little piece of tape and put it next to the camera on my screen. So it reminds me like where it is, like, because people forget, even when you're taking selfie pictures of themselves, people are guilty of looking like at the screen and not looking at the camera on their phone. And so they're like, look like they're cross-eyed and not looking. So it's kind of nice to remind yourself like where the actual little camera is on your screen.
Oh, I love all these like fast, cheap tips. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. A piece of tape. Okay, so we're gonna jump into workshop. So just as a reminder, please mute yourself if you're not the one being workshopped. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove the spotlight, and I'll make the view the speaker view here. So
You're muted. You're muted. Okay. Wait.
so Jody, why don't you go ahead and first go ahead and take yourself off mute, and I'm going to mute myself, and then we've got, it looks like three more behind her, so we'll do 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna try to minimize this hammering that just started again. Hold on one second. All right. They were nice and stopped for a while, but it picked up again. Okay, here we go. All right, so who are we asking? Is it Jody? Oh, hi, Jody.
Hi.
Okay. So I saw that you've changed your lighting. So tell me what you've noticed already from where you changed and where you've been normally taking your calls.
Well, I'm on the floor, which is okay. I need to do something about my background. I get that. I think the lighting is good. Um, it's hard for me to tell. Okay, so I don't have makeup on now, but I usually use a matte kind of
Yeah.
thing. And because of glasses, I typically just do eyebrows because I feel like you can't really see my eyes. Maybe mascara. Oh, you can see my eyes, can you? Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Okay, we will be using eye makeup from now on.
You have
Um,
great skin, by the way.
thank you.
Yeah. So no,
Um,
I would just have a little bit of powder, maybe a little eye makeup. But yeah, the only thing you need to do, because your lighting's great right now, is figure out the backdrop. Like I wonder if you could hang a sheet or even like a fabric or something. I don't know what is above you, or even if you're okay with sitting on the floor, then you could just put that poster board behind you, like I said. So I don't know if that's
yeah, it's
cool for
pretty
you or not.
comfy.
Yeah.
It's pretty comfy, and I can put my notebook on my lap. I think, yeah, just getting the poster board, or even I'm thinking just putting, like, getting my pajamas out of the way, like just doing a solid bedspread maybe, and closing that door so you don't see, so all you would see is this painting behind me and
I
a
think the
door.
bed, I think you lean it. I mean, it kind of looks like you're on a couch, but like I think that um I mean, you could maybe drape like a quilt or something over it, make it look like you're on a couch. But if not, I would almost go with the poster board, because
That's what I'm thinking.
I think that would be the most, like, that would be easy too. You could literally like slide it out and just put it behind you real quick,
Yeah,
and yeah.
yeah. Okay. And
Awesome.
actually, more makeup. And is this a good
Yo,
frame?
you're in a great place. Like the height and everything is really great on you.
Okay,
Yeah.
terrific. Thank you.
I almost want you to show us like where you were sitting when you first started the call to see the difference.
Sure.
Well, while you move, let's pop over to Rebecca for a minute. Rebecca, I'm going to go
Okay.
ahead and spotlight you, um you can also unmute yourself.
This is awesome. The view, the cat boob eyes right now is like amazing. Sorry. Okay. She's muted. You're muted. Okay, there we go.
Hello, I'm Rebecca.
Hi, Rebecca. I love your R behind you. That's super cute.
Thanks. So yeah, my office is in my bedroom, and so sometimes I go and sit on the couch, and then I just have sort of a blank neutral thing, but the lighting isn't really great. And I think you can also see that I have lighting on. I have a window over here,
Yeah.
but it's hard for me to. I mean,
Are you on a laptop or a desktop? What
a
are you on?
laptop.
Can I see what the lighting looks like if you swivel towards your window?
Sure, but I'm gonna close my closet first, and then I'm going to do that. And I'm also going to unplug everything. I'm sort of at a laptop, but I have like my docking station. So this is what my lighting looks like from here.
The lighting's definitely better from there. It looks like you also are looking down on your camera. Like, do you have something where you could lift the laptop up on like books or something higher?
Yeah, when I have that, so like I can put it up here on my desk. I don't know if that's better,
Yeah,
but
that is better.
then it's a wider angle, and so you can see more. So I usually have it pull it a little closer, but
okay. Yeah, I just think it would be better. So swivel back to your other lighting really quick. It's actually more of a neutral background here. I mean, you could get rid of whatever that thing is in the background and clear off stuff, but like I think it would be nice for you to be able to put like some sort of like just blank sheet or something even across your closet. I don't even know, that would help. But it's actually pretty nice, even lighting and fairly neutral. Like you could probably clean that up easily,
right.
like your desk, or like move things over. Or can you sit back further from your desk, or is it like just sitting?
Well, right now I'm holding my computer, so.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yes, I can't
Is
really.
How's your desk situation? Is it your desk able to move slightly, or like, I don't know what your looks like.
Not, I mean, no, I only have one configuration in which all of my furniture fits in this room, so I'm pretty much
got
stuck
it.
with, like, it's just,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say like, I mean, even if like splitting the difference a little bit, like if you were able to just kind of look more at your closet, like swivel just a little bit to where I'm not seeing stuff on your desk, like right, even like that is already better lighting on you, and it's clear and clean. You still see your cute R thing. So I would almost just like try to swivel a little bit more in that direction, just to at least get the better light on you. And it's already looks good. It's like clean and neutral behind you. So I would even move a little bit, so you slightly towards the closet again, slightly,
Like
yeah,
this.
right there. Yeah, maybe you could move your little R thing or just keep it. I like that just
Right.
because it's clean on you. And then I have a thing about like lines going through my head. I can't stand that in photos. So like if your closet line or like the corner of your room is going through your head, that distracts me. I don't know, but I'm a photographer. So like right now it's perfect because your head's like, yeah, like not that, but where it's like in between, where it's not, lines aren't going through your head.
Okay.
But yeah, so I think like that's already clean and nice, and the lighting looks better on you.
Okay.
And it's at it's up high. It seems like is it up? Are you holding it still, or is it up on your desk?
I'm sort of setting it on a riser. I have these little plastic
perfect. Yeah,
riser things, lighter
that's
than
perfect.
books, which
Yeah,
help
yeah,
adjust the height.
yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that already looks better. I think that's great right there. It's just when you're it's just like me when you're at your desk side lighting, it's just not the best side light on. Yeah.
Right.
Awesome.
Okay,
Cool.
great, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Great. So let's flip over to you, Sarah. I'll go ahead and spotlight you. And Rebecca, if you can mute yourself. Oh, where is Sarah? Hold on. Oh, there you are. Okay.
Hi. So I know the light is in the wrong spot. Is the height wrong too? Should it be higher up?
I think your height's actually okay. You don't look like you're looking too far down or anything. I mean, it could be a little up. I don't know what you have it sitting on right now. Like
it's on books, so I can put more.
Yeah.
Books.
Did you add books while we were talking, or do you always have it on books?
No, I always have it on books.
Yeah,
it's on.
good.
It's basically it's on a stool. Books on a stool is it's my setup.
What's your backdrop if you were turned towards the window light? What's behind you?
So what's behind me is the entire room, which is not presentable. So it would be, that's why I picked like a corner. But this would be the lighting change, but it's like the entire room and hallway. There's no door.
Could you do something like this setup where it's like you just have like a poster board on like something or something behind you? Because that lighting is so nice on you when you do turn towards the window.
Yeah, you were gonna send a link on how to hold it up.
Yeah, I can send you. You can literally buy like stands. I'll look it up right now and I'll add it to the chat of like you just get. For me, they're photo stands. I already have them, but you can get them. It's like a tripod stand or something. You don't even need two of them.
We'll get
yeah, and they fold up really small, and you technically don't even need two of them. You just need one with like a clamp. I have two, so I use two and just rest it on it. But if you had one with like a clamp on it, like you literally could get away with that and just move it around. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I like that idea because I didn't know how to get rid of the rest of the house.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. I mean, like a lot of my friends have been doing that just because photographers usually have this stuff around, but it's very basic. And I mean, this is like an under $20 setup to buy a stand and poster board. And it's very easy to store away quickly. And then you can just cut off any backdrop that you don't like. So you could just take your chair right now, swivel it towards,
turn around.
Yeah, turn around and just put that poster board behind you and do all your meetings that way.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then this height you think is good?
Yeah, I think that height's really good. So I don't know how high you have it up, but it looks good. You're like shoulder level, straight on. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Isabel, are you up for this?
Oh yeah.
Sarah, if you'll just make sure that you're muted, and I'll spotlight you, Isabel, just a second. Let me find you in the list. Oh, there you are.
Let me see.
Okay.
Hi, Isabel. That's my mom's name.
That's a good name.
Yeah, it is. Awesome. So what is your normal, like right now, the lighting on you looks really even and beautiful.
I'm super fortunate. I have an office, a dedicated office, and actually it's all windows on two sides. And been kind of gray, so the light is just starting to come up, and I never know. Like, I actually have shades that I drop a little bit because I don't want the light to be too harsh.
Yeah.
So, but I've just pulled those up during the course of our talk, and I think it's okay.
Yeah. No, the light looks great on you. How does it with your glasses too? I'm just curious.
Well, it's weird. Like, I can see you guys now, but if somebody were to share a screen, I'd have to look at a presentation. I'd put the glasses on, and that's when you get a lot of like,
Yeah.
there's my
Well,
window.
when do you, if you keep it straight and not up and down, do your glasses don't glare like that much though? It's like,
Yeah, I also have a glass top desk that's also light, and that's where that's coming from.
You bring up a really good point, actually. So, first of all, sometimes if you have a window, like if I'm too front of my computer, you can see it's like I'm being blocked by my computer. So sometimes you want to like make sure that you're not being blocked by the computer. But a lot of times, like during a certain time of the day, my windows will come in like really hot, like it starts streaming in, and it'll cause these really weird reflections. And so even just taking a piece of fabric or a blanket and putting it down, like even over your desk, will completely minimize all of that glare and that weird like reflecting coming up. We do that in photo shoots too. We just like take a black sheet or something and put it down, and so that'll help. The darker or more neutral the color, the better. If you put a white sheet down, then you're going to like reflect a bunch of white. So, but yeah, that's a good way of like, if you have that harsh light coming in through your windows to diffuse that. Like rear shades seem to work too. So, but yeah, I mean, your background's really cute. It's, so is this like your off, is this like meaningful, like the art behind it? What do you do?
I'm a writer.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's really, really cute. I mean, I think like, some people want it to be really clean, just whatever backdrop, but if you're back, like mine's busy, but it makes sense to what I do. So I feel like yours is really like,
yeah, I think it's sort of reflective of my personality a little bit, like the orange and the colors and stuff. It's a space that I feel good in, and so I don't mind showing it.
Yeah, I mean, your glasses are cute too. If you keep right now, wherever your face is, it's like the glare is not that bad on your glasses, like right there. So it's almost like you have to turn your face slightly. I'm just curious to see how it glares. Yeah, so you almost have to keep your face like sort of like right there if you want to have your glasses. But yeah, no, I think you've got it really good set up there, but and your skin, everything looks great. So I would just do that. The only thing if I was going to be super picky is that sometimes I get really bugged out by having like stuff coming out of
my head.
Your head. Yeah. So if there's a way to like almost lower your chair height slightly,
I think I'm all the way at the bottom, so I could actually probably put some more
or do that. If you put more books, then your head kind of is like framed by the art, and that would look prettier than it just coming out of your head. You know what I mean? So that's my only thing I would say.
Or I could shift it.
Yeah, or you could shift like that. Perfect. That's kind of like what I did with Rebecca, where she just kind of shifted and then it wasn't coming out of her head. Yeah, I already like that. You see some books on the side and stuff too. It's nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, well, let's do one more and then we'll stop the recording. And if you have one more minute, maybe you can look at Jody's new setup. But let's go ahead. Isabel, please remember to mute yourself. And John, we're going to spotlight you. And there you go.
Hey, John.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. So I am at a desktop computer.
Okay.
So it's connected to a laptop, so I can always move my laptop around the house. But I've done a little bit of this workshopping with Alyssa already at different locations in my house, and this is where I'm settled right now, just because it's where I have my desk at.
Yeah, I mean, so what's in front of you? I see you have a window behind you, but you have a window to the side of you, it looks like?
No, I have a lamp to the side of me because I think it puts a little bit more light on my face, because if I open those blinds on the window, it's just blinding and it's terrible to look at.
Yeah.
So I have a lamp to my left here.
Is there a way to move your lamp where it's more like central in front of you? Because I will say it looks like you have kind of like the side lighting. It's not, and I can't really see your eyes. They're not really like popping as much. Is there a way to have a light more? I don't know how big your lamp is, or if it's off.
Yeah, I was liking the idea that you had about buying the little thing from Amazon onto the back.
Yeah.
The way my setup would be hard to get any kind of lamp behind.
Yeah, this thing is awesome, and you could it'll give you a good light whether it's daylight or not. And the only thing is, I will say your background is a bit busy, like but but I think you could, but I mean, it's not terrible. It's more of like, I think if you had popped your like light on you a little bit more, it would look a little more professional, like on your face. But I don't know. I mean, you could also do like the whole poster board setup too, if you wanted behind you. Like, I don't know if you just wanted to keep a clean backdrop, or even can I see what's kind of around you at the desk, or how far away things are from you? Or you can't really tilt it because they're in a desktop, huh?
So, I mean, it's a little camera I can pull that I have like connected.
Okay.
I mean, so you want to look at the desk?
Yeah, I just want to see what your setup is right there. Like,
see how this works.
Oh, okay. So you're,
so, you know, it's kind of just a standard like desk, but it's just,
okay.
It's
and how much,
against the wall.
How much room is between you and the bed?
Not a lot.
Okay.
I'm very cramped in this little space.
Yeah, I'm like wondering, you know, another thing I've done where if you just buy like a sheet, or like you have a white sheet or something, and just tacks, literally I've tacked the sheet like from the ceiling just behind. I'm like wondering if you could even do something like that, just to have a solid, you know, so people don't see that you're like sitting, because it looks like you're almost sitting on a bed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know you're not, and you're at a desk, but that's what, you know, it's hard to tell. That's why I was asking how far away it was. I don't know. I'm wondering if there's something like easy like that, where you could just like tack it up quickly and then pull it down, and it wouldn't like cause any damage or anything like that. It could just be like a plain sheet.
Yeah, I could play around with a sheet, or maybe figuring out if I could fit like a poster board behind me or something.
Yeah, because you have your camera pretty wide, so the poster board might not be like wide enough for you. That's why I'm thinking maybe like hanging a sheet or something from the ceiling.
Yeah. Okay.
And that would just be really easy to like take down at the end of the day and put back up and all that.
Yep.
Yeah. And like if somebody walked in the room or like sat, then they wouldn't, I don't know how your door is, but would they be able to like get around the sheet? If you were to tack a sheet up, could somebody move in behind you and not be seen?
Yeah. I mean, there's really no reason my wife would come in here anyways.
Okay. Okay. So I think if you were able to play around with like some tacks, like literally like cheap tacks at like Staples, a sheet, and then like just getting that cute like little light, that would probably make it like a super professional looking like studio almost for you.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. Awesome. Yay.
All right. So I'm going to remove the spotlight here. And I just want to do a little close on the recording, and y'all can hang out for a little bit after we end the recording. But first, Laura, I want you to share just a little bit about how people can connect with you. And as you know, it's not just our group here on the video, it's also anyone watching a recording. So give us your pitch and who you want to meet and how we can connect with you.
Oh, great. Thank you. So my travel, photojournalism and fine art travel work, you can find on my website, which is just my name, lauragrier.com. My weddings and events photography is on beautifulday.photography. I shot Alyssa's wedding. Probably see some
beautiful.
Of
you can creep it. It's beautiful.
But yes, beautifulday.photography is that site. And then Andiana Hats, which is like the Indiana Jones of the Andes Mountains, which is why I named it that. That's the website where you can see all the sustainable goods that are being made by these Quechua artisans that we're selling, including like the type of hat I'm wearing right now. And then my two IG accounts are at Laura Grier Travel and at Andiana Hats. So you can, you know, a lot of my travel stuff, like what's happening in my real life is on my stories. And then just sometimes I'm where I'm at on my travels on my IG, and sometimes it's reposting stuff from back when we could travel. So yeah, but basically it's a really good portfolio of like a lot of my trips in my work. But anytime you want to reach me on any of these sites, or even just drop a question on IG, my number is on my website too, if you email as well, so you can always reach me that way. But no matter where I'm at, I'm pretty connected and pretty reachable. So feel free to, if you have any questions.
Thank you. And thank you so much for your generosity, Laura. This has been awesome. I think, you know, Sarah and I were speaking a little while ago about how many Zoom presentations where we just see people doing everything wrong, and you wonder, like, what are we doing wrong? So thank you so much.
Of course.